Hi everyone, it's Marcie Bessaker again here, and today we are going to be working on what I'm calling the Artistry Bloom Peony or Peony. Everybody says it's different. I say peony, I think, and my friend corrects me and says peony, but I've heard it both ways, so you know what it is. Let me show you. We are going to be using the prized peony. And when this set first came out, I will link my last video on this stamp set so that you can see it shows you how to put it together, but I'm going to show you again on this video. The happiest of birthdays, we're going to use that big wishing you a happiest of birthdays stamp set. We're going to use the layered square dies, and we are going to use the peony dies to go with stamp set. All right, so let's get busy. First thing we're going to do is switch our camera over, and we are going to get busy. This is kind of what the card is. We're going to switch it up a bit, but this is what the card looks like that we are using. The reason we're calling it the Artistry is because I'm using the Artistry Bloom Designer Series paper. So I'm going to take out the coloring for you. We're going to make it super simple and use DSP. So I took out my foam pad. We don't need it. I want a nice, bold, sharp image, so we're going to use our stamp apparatus. I like to put a stamp set under because then this is nice and flush and flat, so it's easy to ink up. I'm going to rub it around, pounce on it, get a nice crisp image. Lay it down firmly, just kind of push everywhere, lift up. Love it just like it is. Sometimes on a bolder image, it doesn't stamp exactly crisp enough. There might be a piece that, you know, it leaves a little bit light, and I prefer it nice and dark, so I wanted to use the stamp apparatus for that. All right, I'm just gonna get a baby wipe because I washed my scrub and it's in the other room. So we're just gonna go old school. All right. So I'm gonna put this away. We're done with that for now. On my last video, I created a little template that shows you how to create your flower. So what I did is I folded it up and I put it in the back of my die set here. So this is what we're looking at. I'm going to just set our template aside, our sentiment I mean, and we're going to work on this right now. So what I want to do is I'm going to pull in our dies and I'm going to put them where they go. This is what helps me out. So I know what I'm looking at and what I need, that I have everything that I need. This little guy here. This goes there. Sorry, I've got allergies and I've been trying not to cough and it's not helping me. All right, there's that. This one here, again, this is going to be all DSP we're using. So sorry. Ugh. Not there. All right. See if I can take a drink and not cough. All right. So what I did is, if you look through this paper, there is just a lot of pretty colors that have prints on the other side, but there's kind so sorry, some solid colors on one side and then some light prints and then bolder prints on the other side. There's a lot of different ones to choose from. You can see on this one I chose the one that has a little bit of a stripe kind of look to it, and this is one sheet of paper. It's just faded. It was like a variegated color, so I chose that one for there. And we are going to choose something a little bit different. So the leaves, I think we're going to do the same. So we're going to do the light and the dark. You notice I did the dark on the little trim that we have and the lighter on the inside. So we're going to do that again. This one, we're going to use the little piece there. So I think I'm just going to cut a little strip here for that, so that I can fit it on with some other items. And then I think we're going to use this piece to be our back panel there. So I need to pull those dies out. So I used the ornate. Now this stamp is going to be using a lot of different things. So I'm going to use this one on here. So let's just do that now and get that out of the way, because I'm going to have to cut out those little holes. So I'm using my magnet sheet here. So we'll do that. Might as well put this in with it. Get my center of my flower done. So we'll do that. Again, this magnet sheet, you guys, is just amazing. This is the magnet sheet that I have my dies on. All right, so we're going to fill this up. Let's fill it up with everything we need to cut right now. So let's move that down. We're going to put our leaves on. So let's put this over here, and we'll do all of our little leaves now. So we're just going to put those in there. And these are the little pieces. I could probably put this right here. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. I think that's all I'm going to try and chance. All right. So everything's on. See? And that's what we're going to do for the first run through of dies. So let's get that to go through. And then I pulled out this really pretty pink purples. So I thought that with the Blackberry Bliss would be really pretty. So I'm going to leave this in so I can, well, it fell right out of the die. I was going to leave that in so I can brush that out. Let me get my other little die pieces here. We have our flower center. So I'm going to pull our flower die back in so I don't start losing these little pieces. And then I have our leaves. Let me find my little tool here. So here's two of them, little guys. All right, so here's our dies. Another die. This one still has the piece in it. There we go. All right. So that's good. So what I do with this is I'm just going to cut this like this and save this for another leaf, another day. All right. Now we're going to do the flowers. So with the flowers, I have 4, and I like the darker in the middle, so the lighter on the edge. So I'm going to think about this, and I'm going to pull my panel in here, my magnetic plate, put my paper on there, and I want my lighter leaves at the end. So I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to go a little darker on the centers. Okay, so this little loop right here, they should all be on the bottom. You'll see all those little loops right there. Okay, so those are all going to be on the bottom. I have everything else die cut except, let me put this on here. I'm going to take this. I like to just run as much as I can through at one time so I don't have to mess with the machine. I just think it's better. This is really a close fit, but I was okay with how it turned out. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to align it on my magnet board so I don't have to use the tape. I'm just going to come over here and kind of line it up. Make sure it is where I want it. And die cut. All right, so here we go. So there is our die cut there. You can see it took the very, very end of birthday and a little swoopy on the top of the wishes, but I think that's okay. I liked how the card came out, and so I'm just going to leave it like that. All right, so these are done. I could put that away. All right, so these, we have all of our flowers now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now putting these together is a lot easier than you think. When I first got it, I had somebody ask me, oh my gosh, have you seen it? Have you even tried to put it together? And I hadn't. And then I tried, and that took a little getting used to. It was not that fun, but I was able to get it to work. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's not so hard. So I made this little image here to help people on how to put it together. So I'm going to leave that out so I can show you. I'm going to leave that little guy. And I only used the one piece for the flower. And really, you could have just used the one piece for the leaves, except I just had an extra piece. So I'm going to save that for later, of course. And yes, I'm even going to save this. This would make a beautiful little flower. Just not this part, but I'll keep that part. All right. So that's out of the way. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to bring out I'm going to move this over just a bit. And I'm going to bring out my pad here with my die. I'm going to put my die back in it and I'm going to lay it down this way. I just think it protects the little bits on the end, and I'm just going to try and roll and get as much out as I can from the die. And you're really just getting all the little bits out. And okay, they're all out of the die now. And now I think I just have to, and I could probably put this through the machine again, but I don't mind poking them out, what's still left in there. All right, so they're pretty much a lot out. Let me just get these out. And we're gonna run it through the embossing with an embossing folder right now. Let me shake this out. All right. So the embossing folder that I used is this one here. I think it's the Dainty Diamonds. It just adds a really pretty detail. So let me just poke some of these holes out really quick. While I'm poking the holes out, I'm going to show you my blog. And this is where you're going to find my updates. You're going to find my posts with my videos, and you'll get the measurements, and sometimes I do PDFs and just more information there that you'll need. That if you want to copy a project, that's easier than trying to write down everything as you're watching the video or screenshot or anything like that. You'll find it on my blog. And these little chads are coming out, but I like them all out. I know some people just are like, oh, that's okay. They mostly came out. That's one thing that I got to get them out. So I should have done this ahead of time so I didn't have to poke all these little chads out. They're falling right out, but they're just a matter of poking them. And this one just may not have them all out. I'll just have to live with it. As you can tell, they're all out over here. They're all out over here. There's just a few on the top and bottom. So let me just poke here real quick. So on my blog, on the top right-hand side, you'll see Shop My Online Store, and you can go there and look around. My current hostess code is always right below that button that says Shop My Online Store. It'll say current host code. And below that are the current catalogs. So you can just go there and look at the catalogs too. All right, I think I've got a lot of them. There's still some there, but it is what it is. I don't want you guys having to sit here while I'm poking out this. They're so easy to come out, yet they're just kind of, and the edge is so frail, I don't want to mess it up. So rather than you watching me, I'm just going to go ahead and go on. All right, so we're going to put this in our embossing folder. And I like to try to make it as straight as you can. And I'm going to adjust my sandwich, and we're going to give it some fun texture for our card. All right, so here is our image now, our panel. Look how pretty that is. But let me take that off. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our, oh, I got raspberry, I think it matched a little bit better. I'm like, this isn't Blackberry Bliss, Rich Razzleberry. All right, so we're going to adhere this on here, but first let's adhere our sentiment. Because it's got an embossing folder behind it, I am just going to do liquid. You can tell if you saw my last two videos. Same glue. You think I would have grabbed a new one, but I know there's glue in there because I just pulled this one out not long ago, but I have been using the heck out of it. All right. So let's put that right here. And just add that on there. All right, so we're going to set that aside. Let's put our flower together. All right, let's put our dies away so I don't lose them. Okay. So how to put the flower together? You're going to want glue dots. You're going to take the largest part first. That's how I do it. I've seen some people do the smallest first. I like to do the largest first. And, oh, I didn't do my leaves. Oh, gee. I knew I had a lot of paper left over. Okay, that's why my leaves were still out. 1, 2, and 3. All right, really quick, let's do our leaves. Yesterday I was working on a project and my die fell right off into my trash can. And of course today's trash day, so the trash can was very full of paper and little itty bitty pieces. I had to go hunting for my die. I found it. It was not in the trash. It fell right on the counter below my die machine and I did not even see it. But I've had my Stampratus magnet out and I'm like wanding it close to the bottom of the trash bag. It was quite comical actually. All right, now we have everything. Yay, yay, yay. Yay, yay, yay. All right. Sorry about that. Oh, I'll fix this. Okay, so glue dots. So what we're going to do is I take my bone folder first and I just kind of lightly, because remember this is DSP, this is not cardstock, so it's a little bit thinner, and I just kind of do that. And then I put it in my palm and I just kind of go like that on the bottom portion, just so it kind of gives it a little bit of character. Okay, so do the same thing here. Bend it back a little bit. You're not pulling, you're just bending. Okay, so bend a little bit there, lay it in my palm, and I just kind of press right there a little bit. And that just kind of helps with that opening a little bit. So do all 3 pieces like that. This is the top part, so you're going to just bend it. And I bend the bottom just a tad. And I just want this little piece right here. Be very careful. Just kind of bend it a little. Same thing. Remember, this curve is the bottom. I'm just going to do the top a tiny bit. Be super careful. It's really fragile right there. And then I just kind of put this in and push. I don't even really move it back and forth. Just kind of push it a little bit, because this is where you're going to put the inside of your flower. Okay, so you're going to take this piece, which is the second piece. Okay, so you have this. It's a oops, let me move that down for you. The second piece, and you're going to take this and you're going to put glue dots on the bottom. Glue dot. Oh, forget that glue dot. Be careful, it is DSP, so I like to take a pointy tool too. And then go to this one. And then just push it off. All right, so now you have your 2 glue dots. You're going to put it inside your first one. I like to turn it over and then just bring it up and align your curves. So see how your curves are right there? They're all gonna align. So that's number 1 and number 2. Number 1 has a little bit of my glue dot showing, so make sure you go down far enough. You don't want it to show. All right, so there we go. So again, you have your 2 layers here and your 2 layers here. Now you're going to do the same. You're going to do a glue dot on the bottom, very close to the bottom, on that little thing and on the little circle. And you could do 3 if you wanted. Go over here and do another one. That's fine. You're going to slide it through. You're going to turn it over and you're going to align it again, right where the other ones are. Okay, now you have 3. You have 3 in the front, 3 in the back. Okay, see how it's got the lighter petals and now it's getting darker. All right. And be careful how you align them. You want your front one to be seen, but not the ones behind it. All right, so our last one, same thing. Glue dot, glue dot. I'm going to do 3. Glue dot. Again. Now it's getting a little tighter. You're going to slip that in. Okay, so it's if you hold this up a bit and slide it in with your thumb, that way it's not trying to stick already. And then bring it up and align it. All right, so there's your flower. And right here, my paper's just, let me get this sticky off here. My paper's just bending a little bit right there, so I'm going to tuck it in. There we go. All right, so there is our flower. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the front, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the back. Now you're going to take your little gold piece, stick your glue dot. I put one on the front and one on the back is what I like to do. Okay, so now you've got one on the front and one on the back, and you're going to hold your little flower part, go back and put your fingers right in there, and then just slide it down right to where you want that to kind of poke out. So there's your little flower. All right. Now, I'm going to set this aside for a second. We're going to come back to the flower. Let's get our leaves done so they'll dry. So we have our pieces of leaves here. This one, this one, this one. All right, so they should align. You should see how it is. So this long straight line goes with this long straight line. This one has curves like this one, and then this is the little one. So I'm just going to take my glue. I'm going to grab a new bottle. I was trying to get it to last, but it's all right. I'd rather have one that works. All right. Especially since I'm doing this little tiny bit here. All right. So, oh, look at that. Be careful of new bottles. So just take a piece of paper and scrape it off. Wow. So I took a piece of paper and I just scraped it right off. So now there's just a little bit there. Be careful with the brand new bottle. Sometimes you get that little air bubble that just popped up like mine did. All right. So what I'm going to do is rub this part down a little bit because I've got plenty on there. And turn it over and then just put it right on the leaf, right along the edge. And then there's your leaf. Same with this one. Very light squeeze. All right. Number 2. Now the larger one. So if you guys go to my Facebook page, Marcie Bessaker Designs, I will definitely post on there while I'm gone. I'll probably take some pictures of the fires and things like that that we see. We will be going past Medford. We won't be passing Portland this time. My son does live in Washington, but he was just here, so we're just going to go see my daughter in Oregon because my granddaughter starts kindergarten. All right, so we've got that. Yay, yay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move this away. I believe I have a picture of this I will put on my blog when I post this, but I like to keep it in the back right here just so I have it. All right, we're going to move that aside. We are going to, let's go ahead and use liquid. Make sure that's on there because it's got the embossing folder. We're going to set that right there. And like I said, you can see a couple little spots that I'll clean that up later. I do have this scrap piece that we used. So what I'm going to do is take a piece off that is 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. And that will go on the inside of our card, just to kind of tie it all together. Oh, let me make sure that I pulled out a grid sheet because my other one was quite loved, and I want to make sure that I cut this down. I didn't think I had. All right. So there's that. We're going to go ahead and add this to the bottom. I'll just use liquid glue here. That'll be the inside of our card. All right, you can see a little bit of glue oozed out. I just like to take my pokey tool and run that along. It'll come right off. So I'm going to move this aside. All right, I'm going to save this, but I'm going to take this off. I keep it for other leaves and whatever that I might need. If I left this on, it tends to get connected with other little pieces, and I don't want that. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And then we're going to bring our flower in. Now what I did here is I add dimensionals in here. It still lays flat, but it just helps your flower give a little more dimension. So I'm going to pull this off, lay that on there, and then I like to pull this up and just lay it right there. It just gives it a little more dimension. And now the next one I'm going to move over a little bit. I don't want them right on top of each other. I just want the leaves to open up a bit. So I just kind of put that in there so you can see how they're kind of opening, but your flower is going to be like this. It's okay if you can see the dimensions way down in there. You can put another little one over here if you want. I tend to not put too many because I want it to lay down in the mail. So I'm going to put that one there. And now it's easier with your bone folder. Just kind of see where you're at. You can see where there's the dimensional on the back there. The bigger one is kind of going through towards the bottom. So you want to put this one a little bit towards the top. And I like to put it right here. So you can tell that it just gives you a little more dimension right there. Okay, so that's 2. And then I'm good. I don't want to put it in the middle there, but you can put them in the front. So I do a little bit, just to make it fluff up a little bit, but it still lays nice and flat when you mail it. So I just kind of tuck that one down in there. And then that's all I do. The rest I don't do because it's such a lower piece of paper, like right here, that you would probably see it. And I don't want you to, you don't want people to see it. And I think just having this right here is enough to make it really kind of stand out. So we're going to add our flower. And I added glue. So I'm just going to put it towards the middle. Oh, look at that again. Okay, let's just move that around. All right. We're going to just put that in the middle and lay it right there. I have enough dimensionals in the flower to make them pop, so I don't need to add more dimensionals to hold the flower up. So then I took this leaf. I did put dimensionals on my leaves. So I put one at the bottom and one towards the middle, and these are the regular size ones. And I had that come out over here. Then I take the little one, I do one dimensional, and then I came out over here, and I just kind of overlapped them just a little bit, kind of look more natural. Same thing on this one. I took two dimensionals here. I mean, really, there's hardly any stamping to this card. And I just kind of poked it out a little because I wanted to see the darker green. And so there's that. And then here's the inside, which we did not glue in yet. I love the Seal Plus. Oop. It holds really, really well. So I just kind of look at the bottom, and that's good. All right, so there you go. Here's the one I did before. Oh, wait, we're not done. We are not done. We need to add our stones on here. Now I added the peachy color ones before because it kind of went with this color. But I think this time I'm going to use the frosty ones because I really like them. So I think I'm going to do a frosty one there with a little one up there, and then a medium. Oh, I guess we have two sizes, and then another larger one down here. And it just adds enough sparkle. Let's see if you can see. Just enough sparkle on there. It's really pretty. Now, I think what I'm going to do something else on there that I didn't do on the other one. Just because I think it's going to add a little more pizzazz. I'm going to take my Wink Stella, and I'm going to move my stuff out of the way. I'm going to take this and fold it. I don't have a splatter box with me. And I think I'm just going to splatter this some. So I'm going to squeeze it. Not a whole lot, but enough. And then I'm going to put my finger and I'm going to tap. I squeeze enough. I can see it, but I think I need to squeeze more. There we go. I want to add a little more to my flower. Than my sentiment has. There. All right. Wipe that up. There. Now it has some sparkle. I like the kind of mixed media look. I love mixed media. And so I think this will just add that little bit of extra to this card. So I hope you like it. My original card is right here with no splatter, which might change because I really like the look of it. And there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am sad that you weren't here to craft with me and that I did this on a live video. Not a live video, but I will be back on Sunday. Today's Tuesday. I'm leaving Friday. I'll be back the following week Sunday for videos. So we'll see you then. You guys have a fantastic week, and go to Marcie Bessaker Designs on Facebook, and you can catch me there through the next week. Have a great time. Bye.